Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So before we get into it, I do just want to explain a little bit and maybe apologise for those who didn't understand or didn't know or weren't aware that I've been on holiday for sort of just over the last week. I have received the odd message and I've got a few comments as well on older videos asking where I've been, why there hasn't been any updates on any games. But yeah, I have been on holiday pretty much since the day after the first leg of the playoff semi-final, of course, with Sunderland and Luton. I've even got the odd comment accusing me of ignoring doing updates because I'm still crying because of the defeat. But win, lose or draw, I was in Portugal sunbathing, so no, I wasn't crying. I was very upset, of course, after the defeat. But yeah, getting into it, it was very, very difficult to take. It was a difficult one to take. But, you know, it's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a good few days now since we did get knocked out by Luton on goal difference. Of course, the first leg we won by 2-1. It gave us that slither of hope, didn't it? And I feel like the character we shown in that first leg was outstanding, given we went a goal down. And I was so proud of the lads. So proud of the lads. Of course, we went a goal down. Really, really sloppy goal from us. And it just shows, you know, the weakness we've got in the box defensively when it comes to just clearing our lines. And of course, we don't have the height there because of injuries. We know this. We've gone over this a million times. Regardless of whether it's as simple as that, as height or a bit more experience in the box, you know, we've lost the likes of Danny Bart, Bollard, Alessi, who did make a cameo appearance in the second leg. But we've lost so many players across the pitch. It was just really shining a light on it. You know, in the first leg, it was managed to get a scrappy goal, bit of a bundle into the back of the net type thing. We just couldn't clear our lines. It was poor defending, really. But again, we do have certain excuses to fall back on, I guess. But in big games like that, you need to do better. But we did fight back, and an absolute wonder goal from Diallo. And then Trey Hume with an outstanding header to make it 2-1 going into the second leg, which gave us, like I say, that slither of hope. We went into the second leg, and I knew it was going to be a really difficult game. Luton, either way, going into these legs, I think they were 12, 13 games unbeaten, something like that. So even to get that first leg win was an achievement in itself. But all I wanted, and I kept on saying online, on social media, even when we went 2 goals down, you know, I was watching it in a bar in Portugal, getting highly emotional and highly drunk, may I add, highly intoxicated. But even after 2 goals down, I was saying on social media, despite the shocking defending again for the goals, and, you know, I'm proud of the lads regardless of how the game finished. This was at 2 goals down. I was saying I'm proud of the lads regardless of how this game finishes, but please let's not go out on a whimper. Let's do what we've been doing all season and show off that sexy football we know we can play. We've been doing it all season. Let's just go out and make ourselves proud. And if I'm honest, I wasn't particularly pleased. I felt like it was such a lacklustre performance. Didn't really offer much, didn't really show much. You know, we really struggled to string passes together. We didn't look as threatening as I would like to. And we sort of did go out on a whimper, which was very, very disappointing to see. But as I say, I'm not going to linger on that performance too much. I'm not, because Luton were there on merit. Luton were absolutely excellent. They played to their strengths and played to our weaknesses brilliantly. And I did say actually after the game, you know, how excellent Luton were as a football club. Of course, the way they've built themselves up and the way they've done things has been outstanding, but they didn't really shine themselves in a good light, I must say. I know it's only a few select fans, but, you know, Diallo, who was getting booed all evening for certain dives and going down a bit soft and stuff like that, which is fair enough, that's what happens with fans. But it's going to collect the ball, throw in, and the fans hit it in the back, or give him a good shove in the back. Didn't look great. Of course, they had the pitch invasion after the game, which is all well and good, whatever. That, you know, you do you. I know some people say it's tin pot, some people say it's whatever, but we might have done it. You know, if the second leg was back at the Stadium and we turned it around, I doubt we would have done a pitch invasion, but may have done. You do get the odd one, but obviously there was a pitch invasion, they were celebrating, whatever. And then there was a huge amount of Luton fans goading the Sunderland fans who were just singing away. Yes, they didn't show themselves in a good light there. It didn't look fantastic from a Luton perspective, but, you know, all the best to them. Yeah, so it was a hard one to take. It was a hard one to take, but let's focus on the positives, right? We've gone pretty much the entirety of the season, at least I'd say 80-85% of the season without a striker. let's not include Gellhart because he's not a striker. The lad is not a striker. He's not an out-and-out striker. We've gone 80-85% of the season without a striker. The injuries we've had, our captain's been out for half the season. Defensively, we've had to constantly change. Our team has had sort of 10 midfielders on half the time. With the amount of injuries, we've always had a couple of centre-backs out, or a left-back out, and a right-back out. The defence throughout the entirety of the season has been a makeshift defence. And for us to get into a playoff place, with this young group of lads, mind you, I think it's the average age of 22 or something, the youngest in the country, I believe, it's been absolutely outstanding. It all comes down to character and the way the lads have produced time and time again and really applied themselves has been absolutely incredible, and I cannot give the lads enough credit. I really cannot give the lads enough credit. So yeah, it's disappointing. It's always disappointing to go out in a playoff semi-final. It always is, given that we were winning as well from the first leg. But that don't mean everything. You can't win the first leg and just think that you've done it because you haven't. But yeah, it does give you that slither of hope, as I say, and it does hurt. But I'm so proud of the lads. And all it does for me, usually I would linger on a defeat like that for a very long time. And it would hurt me for a very, very long time. But literally after a day or two, I was just so excited for the next season. I'm so excited for next season. Not just to see who we bring in, but to see these youth players progress even more. Because some of them, the improvement in some of these lads has been colossal. Some of them in the first few games of the season, when I saw them, I thought, they're not going to cut it. And they've gone on to be first names on the team sheet, like Trey Hume, most improved player of the season in my eyes, like I said in a previous video. And other players who come along. Diallo, who of course was only a lone player, he only really starting games in December. If we remember, he couldn't really get a look in, and when he was coming on, he wasn't looking fantastic, not really sharp. And he ended up being one of our player of the season. And he was outstanding. Jack Clark has come on leaps and bounds. His goal contributions, his numbers is absolutely incredible. Dan Neil is growing along. I'd love to see Abdullah Barr come on more, because I think he has so much potential in him. We've still got like Haji and Burnett to come on. We've got Sirkin, who, it's so sad about his injury record, which has been pretty horrendous, if we must admit. But he's coming on leaps and bounds. Bollard looked absolutely incredible, apart from his injuries as well. Danny Bart, yeah, he's on the older side, but as I mentioned in the previous video, he looks all right, maybe a bit shaky in League One. He comes to Championship and he is the league above. He's been absolutely incredible. Pato, my God, the improvement in that lad is insane. Anthony Patterson has been absolutely incredible for the most part. I'm not going to get into that debate again, but his improvement has been fantastic. There's so much to look forward to. On the topic of DLO, he has been posting his goodbyes. He's been posting sort of goal compilations with emotional music in the background for the last couple of days, and that has, possibly nearly brought on a tear. I'll tell you that, because obviously he has become a fan favourite. He's been absolutely incredible. But yeah, and he's saying that he's always going to support the club, whatever happens. And maybe we'll see each other again soon, which would be outstanding. I can't see it. He's going to go on to massive things. He's Amad Diallo. He's a special player. But very, very proud of the lads. But yeah, I'm going to move on from this a little bit, because of course I've got a lot to cover. So that is us done for the season, sadly. But it probably doesn't hurt as much as I thought, like I say, rightly or wrongly, because I am so proud. But literally straight after this game, news all over the place saying we're looking to replace Tony Mowbray. So I thought, Jesus Christ, I think, I can understand, we do have this sort of youth view of the club at the minute with the players we're bringing in and the way we're looking long term and all that kind of stuff. So we probably want to bring in a young manager that's going to be here for the next 5-10 years, a big long project. But I think the least we can do for Tony Mowbray is give him another season, at least, because he's had to go with, he come in. We just had to struggle with him after a few games. Alex Neil, who we thought was the bread and butter, and he's done absolutely immense for us in League One. He left us in a lurch, and then not many people were too sure on Tony Mowbray. Come in, he's took this young team, this injury-ravaged team, to the playoffs of kids, and some of the best football, if not the best football I've seen in my lifetime watching Sunderland. That man deserves to stay. So when all this news started coming out, I was a bit pissed off. I know some people were a bit more excited about it, so yeah, but it's a long project, you know, Tony Mowbray, this, that and the other. It has come out since that he is expected to stay, which I'm very happy about. Tony Mowbray is one of the best in the business when it comes to developing youth players, which absolutely fits the bill with us at the minute. So why wouldn't we stay with him? You know, he's proven to us now what he can do. There are the odd decision here and there, like in the second leg, he was bringing on defensive reinforcements when we're 2-0 down and it's 55 minutes, an hour gone. So, you know, well, the odd time where you're a bit sort of baffled by decisions, but there's also times where he'll bring on players or he'll tweak a tactic or a formation or something, a system that I maybe didn't think of, or we didn't think of course, because we're not the professionals, we're not getting paid for it, and it'll work and it'll come off. So, more often than not, he has done the right thing rather than the wrong thing, and he absolutely deserves at least another year for me. At least he deserves a summer. You know, we bring in the kids, we bring in the potential players, and he improves them. So yeah, for Tony Mowbray, I'd love to see him stay. He hasn't done enough for me to say no, he shouldn't. He's took a newly promoted side to the playoffs. There you go, and brought some of the best football I've seen. So there we go. One more thing, a huge thing as well, is a couple of days ago. I think it was a couple of days after the semi-final defeat as well. Jobe Bellingham, was it Jobe? I can't remember how you pronounce it. Jobe Bellingham from Birmingham, of course, brother of Jude. They look spitting image as well. Just a marginally younger. I think he's only 17 years of age. Central midfielder. He seems bang on to sign for Sunderland as well, which is a very exciting signing. You know, I think he's already made like 20 odd appearances for Birmingham. I'm not going to sit here and say I've seen loads of him. I've seen like little footage and clips here and there, and he looks very comfortable on the ball, like to pick it up in tight areas. He always likes to make himself available, which I love to see from a central midfielder. From some Birmingham fans' perspective, they've said that, you know, it's at first, of course, being a 17-year-old, he seems a little bit off the pace, but he has grew into it, and he seems like he seems to be a bit more of a number 10 role, but definitely has potential to be a box-to-box midfielder. There was actually an interview with Troy Deeney. I'm not too sure when it come from, but I have read it. Troy Deeney did give his sort of analysis on Bellingham and was saying that, you know, you can see that he has potential to be a very special player, but it might just take him a year or two to develop a bit more, you know, in comparison to his brother Jude, who is one of the best central midfielders out there right now, in my opinion. I think he's absolutely outstanding. But yes, the rumour is, and it is from very reliable sources as well, and Bellingham was there at the Stadium of Light to watch the first leg as well, so it would make sense. He's been to watch a couple of games, so I know that Christian Speakman, he has his links with Birmingham, so whether it was just a friend type thing, I don't know, but there is huge rumours suggesting around £3 million for him, which is a lot of money, but with the potential he's got, will it be worth it? It's a very exciting signing, a very exciting start to this transfer window, if that is to be true as well. Which begs the question, are we going to bring Mishu back? Some have said yes, some have said no, in terms of whether they want to see him back. Personally, I love his song and everything. I wouldn't be devastated if Mishu didn't come back. I think when he first come, so a lot of people kind of hyping him up, and every performance wasn't really doing anything for me. It was kind of the easy sort of back passes, getting pushed off the ball very easily, which you expect with a young lad. But he didn't really contribute too much for me. But then there was just a little period early this year where he did get a little string of games, and he was showing a bit of tenacity, which I love to see. He was showing a bit of strength then, a bit of bottle, and he would drive us forwards occasionally, but then obviously he just fell out the side completely and seemed to disappear off the face of the earth. I don't know whether Mowbray had already got the word from Speakman saying, you know, we're not signing him, so don't, you know, give him games, there's no point, or whatever, I don't know. But I wouldn't be massively devastated if Mishu wasn't to come back, but there's definitely potential there in that lad. Definitely potential there, but he needs a string of games, he never really got that. But yeah, so that is absolutely everything, guys, at the moment. Again, I apologise, it's been such a long break, but I have been out of the country. I hope you are all well, and with any other transfer news or any updates on managers or whatever, I will make videos as soon as humanly possible. But yeah, so please hit the like button for me. It's always massively appreciated. Hope you've enjoyed the videos this season. Take care and stay jamming.